And they put me there driving 3 mules with a no, I think I was using 2 at this time with a go devil. Had, you know, you straddle a cotton or something, and it had knives out to cut the weeds and everything. And right out in the middle of the field, they had it used to be a fence, and they had wrapped a bunch of barbed wire around it. And I got too close. Now, I was 10, remember. I got too close and got my go devil hooked up there, locked up in that wire. And I gave up, and I got out and got to the range and started whipping their ass, you know. And Uncle Will could yell louder than anybody I ever knew. But he hollered at Billy or Paul one. He said, "Go up there and help that boy get loose before he hurts himself, or them damn mules get hurt." I still remember that to this day. And they knew I was a kid. That team did, you know, Mother. And if they could see something that they wanted to eat, they'd reach out and get it, you know. And they'd get my runners out where and Uncle Will could holler half a mile. He'd say, "Tom, get over there!" Old Tom would get back in that role.
Her. Boy, that scared her.
And he and Uncle Sam owned these mules. And they named them, I've told you probably, and Tom and Jerry. Well, see, that's a drink. And, let's see now, Mother.
Rye.
Huh? A rye, rock and rye, that's another drink. And then Lady and Siss, you know, they were just, and that Lady and Siss was such a good team that they were offered $500 for them. But the rock and rye, Tom and Jerry. And those boys rode old Rye to town with an old army saddle when they couldn't, you know, the summer when they were, and the tire out behind us, the great big old black mare.
How old was Uncle Sam when he died?
How old was he? 80-something, wasn't he, Mother?
Yeah.
Seemed like 83 or something like that. Oh,
Have we got his obituary or not?
Probably. I bet he suffered in that with those, you know, he wouldn't let them operate on him.
No.
He hated operations. Sue almost died.
Because he wouldn't get an operation?
Because he wouldn't get tonsil operation. But something happened to him, I guess, but he lost his mother, and it may have had to do with an operation, I don't know, but he suffered with those hips. Mm. He was the one that caused Mother to get and me too, to get interested in genealogy. I told you his mother had died, and he lived a lot next to or right with the Lawson family, and my granddaddy Lawson, and he said Mr. Lawson was the best man I ever knew, barring my own father. And when Zoe heard that, we wanted to know about something about Uncle Lawson, Granddaddy Lawson.
And we've only got that one picture.
Yeah, and we only had one picture.
And then Uncle Sam had that picture, you know, that oval one. And it was always that same place every time you went. And the last time I was interested in all this, and I was asking about the people in the picture, you know. Or I told him. I told him because I figured out the family.
Somebody, yeah.
And he always called it as a wife. He said, "Well, if wife's not in there, I don't care anything about the picture." So he gave it to me. And it's the only one we have. His wife's not there, he didn't care anything about it.
Oh, he and wife were
and she hadn't been
bound at the heart too, I'll tell you.
She hadn't been born yet.
Yeah.
And that was my I could get one of those oval convex glasses for that, but I looked on the internet and I was going to order one. Well, you can't do it just as an individual. Some,
Oh.
photography place has to do it.
Oh, well.
Well, I bet Willa would know. I mean, she does that.
Yeah. Oh, I thought Patrice might have ordered.
She might could.
She has that photography bit. But see, that's the only picture there is. And it needs to be protected.
Yeah.
It had a glass like that at one time. It never did since we knew it, but it had one, and you can get them.
Yeah.
They're not too cheap, but it'd be worth it.
Well, they're working that bone over, aren't they? Now?
I wish we knew where to get those.
I hope he doesn't break her teeth. His teeth.
Well, that'd keep her busy a week.
Huh?
That'd keep her busy.
I think you can get them at Tractor Supply. You have those, don't you?
Tractor Supply.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Not that I know of.
And my dad, he was the oldest child, and they could have never had a better parents than they had. And then he turned out like that.
Soul gal and fell for soul. And she was married.
And she got into him all in trucks, gambling,
Yeah.
That was their real profession, was gambling, She was cooking on that damn extra gang railroad outfit. But bad apple, I guess. They came back. He came by there when I was about 8 or 9, and Mix was been 11, I guess, or something thereabout. And of course, they had to hunt us up. Somebody knew our hangout, so they finally told us to go home. That mother wanted to see us, and we went home. And he was wanting one or both of us. I think he really wanted me to come and live with him a while, And Mother saw me, boy, and she knew instantly that I wasn't about to go live with him. And I suppose Mix the same way, and so he got his pickup and drove off. The only thing he ever gave me, well, I still can see the damn thing. It was a light tan with dress shirt. It probably cost about 47 cents. And I think for Christmas, I can't remember. It's the only thing he ever gave me.
I never know it.
Broadcloth or something like that. But there's always two sides to every story. I don't know what the other side would be, but Mother got real bitter before she died, but it wasn't that way when she was young. The only time I ever knew how hard up we were in that. Mother was trying to sell Stewart products, and that was bluing like in the washing machines used, and several things like that, and not having a bit of luck. And she's walking all over that town all day she sold Avon later. I came in and feeling my oats like always, and she was in the kitchen, her head down on the kitchen table just crying like a child. And she finally recovered long enough to tell me that she didn't know, she hadn't sold anything in 2 or 3 days, and she didn't know what we were going to eat. And I
Grew up in a hurry.
I grew up in a hurry right there.
He couldn't have left y'all at the worst time.
No, it was the worst depression.
Worst time that ever was.
Well, I don't see how anybody could buy any of those kinds of things at that time,
No,
you know.
that's right.